big guy, blue Nike suit, and certainly not one of the terrorists I'd been dealing with. And I figured him for a federal agent, and I walked up and my exact words, I said, "Are you guys on this?" And he said, "Yeah, Gagan, we're on it. We need you to do something." And I said, "Well, you know, I mean," I said, "Why don't you contact me?" He said, "Hey, we're on this." So he asked me to, he told me that they would have, they needed me to take a trailer down to Kansas, to Dwight, Kansas, on April 10th, but they didn't have it ready, so for me to come back in there on the 10th. Now, like I say, every time you go in the U.S. courthouse, there's films. I've been told those films exist, and I'm going in there on the 7th, and when I return on the 10th, I go back in there and he tells me where to pick up the trailer. I got Jones' car, I got to get a hitch for it, and I load it up. It was at a truck stop off of I-70 in Vasquez Boulevard. I hooked it up and drove it to Dwight, Kansas, and left it at the filling station where I was directed to leave. It took me a long time because it was raining the whole way.
Let me see if I understand this. All the other trips were at the request of the Middle Easterners.
Yeah.
This is the only trip you made at the request of a federal agent.
Yeah. I mean, I notified them of the trips, but they never got back to me. But this is the one trip that, you know, the guy didn't show me an ID, didn't show me anything, but, you know, he didn't. I've seen him since. You know, he's come and talked to me a couple times, so I'm sure he's a federal agent.
Now, when was that again? When did you make that trip to Dwight?
April 10th, 1995. Other stuff, I could only pull back the door. I could see it looked like the same mixer that I had in January of '95 in the mail truck. I can't tell. I can't say for sure, but then there was some other stuff in the trailer.
Did someone give that to you?
Yeah, this was a phone book out for Dwight or something, and told where the Dwight
The address and phone number?
Well, yeah, it's got you know, the phone number and Dwight Fuel Service.
And that's where you would drop off the trailer?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea why a federal agent would want you to take a mixer to Dwight, Kansas?
No, I didn't have any idea why they wanted me to do that, and I don't have any idea why they wouldn't contact me in the previous 7 months either.
The date's interesting. If you delivered that on April the 10th, you say, 9 days before the bombing, is there the possibility that that mixer was sent to a couple of guys in Kansas, possibly McVeigh and Nichols, to use to mix up an ammonium nitrate bomb?
Yep, or to mix up other stuff. You know, any of that was possible. I don't see why I would, you know, what other reason I was going there for, now that I look back.
It was, who did you give it to? What do you think it was, what operation do you think it probably financed?
The Amtrak, I think it was payment for the Amtrak bombing.
How much do you think it was in a ballpark?
$300,000.
Did you know the person you gave it to, or
No.
what were your instructions?
Just to, I took the bus from Vegas to Kingman, Arizona, and there was like a restaurant right there called Thad's, T-H-A-D-S, I believe it is. And I was instructed to go in there and that there would be an individual that would recognize me, go in the bathroom and just let him have the bag. And then I'd jump back on the bus and go back to Vegas.
Okay.